This video is sponsored by Squarespace, an all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence so you can share your message, reach more people, and impact their lives. So you may have noticed an ongoing theme within the last handful of conversations we've had, and that theme has been centered around a challenge I presented to you, a hashtag I accept self-awareness challenge. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, details are in the description below. Now, if you accepted that challenge, I want to ask you, how's it going? How's this new year treating you so far? Are you staying on track and heading towards those goals you've set for yourself? I'm laughing because this reminds me of a conversation I had a few weeks ago with my patrons over on Patreon. And we were talking about New Year's resolutions, particularly about how and why I personally don't believe in them. And in asking you about your new year, I thought about this new year, new me phrase we tend to hear and see on social media around this time, which is something I actually talked about in that conversation. So if you want to check it out, there'll be a link in the description to do that as well. But I said all of that to say this, and I don't want this to sound rude, but we have to stop lying to ourselves. New year, new me means absolutely nothing if you're not actively doing something to shift the direction you're traveling in life. A good rule of thumb to always remember is if change is what you want, then change is what you have to give. Let's talk about it. Here's how to reinvent yourself during this new year and really at any time in your life. And the first thing is start decluttering. Physically, mentally, and emotionally. A big part of reinventing yourself and shifting the direction you're traveling in life is also shifting how much you consume and hold on to. Believe it or not, the clutter we carry in our lives is heavy. And while not all of it is something we can actually see with our eyes, its weight is weighing on us more than we know. To paint this picture for you, I want you to visualize a train with hundreds of cars traveling down the tracks full steam ahead in one direction. Now imagine if those tracks suddenly shifted and started heading in a new direction. What are the odds that train, your life, make that turn and stay on track? Not very high, right? Unless that train slows down and sheds some of that weight it's carrying. Now, what if we replace that train in this metaphor with you? What does that look like? How do we make that turn or make that shift without derailing? Start decluttering physically. Take a look at your physical surroundings, every nook and cranny of your home, your car, and ask yourself, how much of this stuff am I using? How much of this stuff do I value? How much of this stuff do I actually need? If you forgot you had it, don't know what it is, not using it or wearing it, then let it go. Start decluttering mentally. Your thoughts, worries, stress, doubts, all of it. Our mind and everything it's capable of is such a beautiful and delicate space, but it can quickly become crowded and clouded if we're not careful. Our worries can negatively impact our actions. Our stress can begin to eat away at our health, mentally and physically. But clearing this mental space isn't necessarily easy when compared to a closet of old clothes. But there are small things we can do, such as journaling and writing down our thoughts, that make dealing with mental clutter more manageable. And I have a playlist that dives into this in depth that I'll link to below. Start decluttering emotionally. Again, there are things we can do here too to help make this more manageable as well, such as talking it out loud to yourself in the mirror or with someone you trust. You can even write poetry and recite it out loud like I did. Either way, allow those conversations to flow naturally. Don't overthink it and cause friction where there shouldn't be any. Now, this is easier said than done, so if you need additional help, please seek out a professional. There's no reason to be embarrassed. If a therapist helps you, let them help you. Remember, you have to let go of who you were if you want to reinvent who you are. Number 2 is identify your core values. I've said this a handful of times before, and I have to bring this statement full circle again because, in my opinion, this truly sets the tone for this conversation. When your values are clear, it becomes easier to focus on what matters to you because your values are pivotal to the structural integrity of your life's foundation. Whew. Let the idea of that sink in for a second. Your values are pivotal to the structural integrity of your life's foundation. When this is taken seriously, it's a complete game changer for your life, especially when you're looking to make a shift and reinvent yourself. Because when you don't know your core values, your journey doesn't have any ground to build on. But when you do, your base is strong, and you're also less likely to end up distracted by things or people who do not align with what you believe in, which makes it easier to declutter them. Now, I have a core values worksheet that I'm giving away for free, and this is something that has already helped so many people in this community. So if you don't have it, you should get it. And all you have to do is head over to my website at ronaldlbanks.com/values, and it's right there for you. Speaking of websites, can we just take a moment to admire how great my site looks? It's bold, it's simple, it's me, the minimalist poet, and I built this start to finish 100% using the Squarespace platform. Again, this is an all-in-one platform that's driven to empower individuals to create their online web presence and launch their passion project. You can start a blog, a powerful feature that I'm using for all of my podcast show notes. You can build email campaigns if you want, which is another feature that I've invested a lot of time in using. And now we have more than 500 people signed up for the Simple Truth newsletter, which puts a smile on my face. I mean, there's so much you can do with Squarespace, especially when you have a message, a voice, and a project that you're looking to put out there and allow it to grow and spread like wildfire. So if you want to start a website of your own for whatever reason at all, be it a blog or portfolio, check out squarespace.com for a free trial. And then when you're ready to launch that project, head over to squarespace.com/RonaldLBanks to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. All of those details are linked in the description. All right, the third thing you can do to start reinventing it yourself is identify your talents and strengths. What are you good at? What do you have a passion for? What do your friends and family constantly compliment you on? Maybe you give great advice. Maybe you're funny or business savvy. Maybe you're an awesome teacher. Whatever that thing is for you, highlight it and make it a priority in your life. The I Accept Self-Awareness Challenge that I presented to you a few weeks ago is what this is all about. I challenge you to spend at least 10 minutes a day with yourself, discovering and uncovering parts of you that you've buried, shied away from, something you've once explored but later lost sight of, your superpower. That thing you didn't know you had in you. I challenge you. See, reinventing yourself is not about pretending to be someone you're not for the sake of experimenting with the new you. It's really about having the courage to be, to do, to share everything that you truly are. Now, let me stop you before your mind takes you there. See, you may have been on your way to thinking that you don't have any strengths, that there's nothing you're good at. But I want to ask you to hit pause for a minute, to close your eyes and start changing your identity, how you view yourself, the language you use. Remember, there's power in the tongue, so what you say becomes what you believe, and what you believe shapes who you are and what you do. Number 4 is suspend self-judgment. The same way there's power in the tongue, there's also power in repetition. Let me explain what I mean by that. See, if you're constantly inflicting self-judgment onto yourself day in and day out, pretty soon you're going to start to believe those things you're telling yourself. And over time, those statements are going to grow and root themselves deeper into your psyche to the point that it forms a permanent roadblock. So instead of exploring yourself and everything this life has to offer, you're headbutting that wall you've built, hoping a hole appears. But here's a little secret for you. As long as self-judgment is present, that wall will be too. Now, how we adjust and fix this specifically is a deeper conversation for a later date. However, I want to give you one action step to walk away with. Separate fact from opinion. Start observing yourself more and more, and when you notice self-judgment starting to arise, ask yourself, is this a fact or is this an opinion? You'll be surprised by how much stuff we make up in our heads and then believe because, well, we told ourselves to. Number 5 is break up with fear. It's nothing more than a figment of my imagination that I've let control me. A set of strings playing my life like musicians do violins and symphonies. I'm tired of this song. I think it's time to change it. No, I think it's time fear and I go our separate ways and split like gymnasts or like bananas do on that famous dessert sea. Fear, you and I are not compatible. We never were, so I'm not sure what drink I mistakenly sipped when I thought we could somehow maintain a healthy relationship. It's not you, it's me. I'm just ready to move on. Whew. It's been a while since I've performed a poem, but that felt good. See, the point I'm making with this is that if you want to reinvent yourself and make a shift in the direction you're traveling in life, then you have to break up with fear. Now, I get it. It's a natural feeling. It's a part of being human, especially when you're trying something for the first time or making a significant change in your life. But it doesn't mean fear has to control your life. That's called a toxic relationship, and that never works. Instead, use that fear you feel as fuel. Remember, fear is just false evidence that appears real. I hope I shared something with you in this video that you found valuable, that you found helpful. And if it resonated with you, give it a thumbs up for me and comment below so we can continue this conversation together. If you're new here, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. Consider hitting that subscribe button down below so you can join this community and grow with all of us here. Always remember to stay true to you. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.